Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Infantry Pulse, and today, in honor of our 2,000 subscriber special, we are going through a Barracks tour. I've been promising this for a while, so we're finally doing it. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the 2,000 subs. That's crazy. That happened in less than a year on the channel, and I'm just really thankful that you guys have been so supportive and so much fun to be around. It's been fun to interact with you guys. Both here on YouTube and especially on the Discord server, and over on Twitch as well. So thank you guys so much for doing that. So we're gonna go through. We're just gonna look at all my units. So just a history of me playing the game. I've been playing since launch, and I used to be more of a collector. I used to just collect the dragon units. That used to be my thing. That used to be what I did, because I didn't really enjoy arena play that much. I didn't really care about it that much. I used to be more of just, I really like a strategy. That's really what I focus on, rather than like, these are units I like. I like a strategy. So dragons used to be really good back in the day, and I really like their play style. I like enemy phase play styles. So I built up a bunch of dragons and collected them because I thought they were really fun and neat. So you're going to see the remnants of some of that, as well as the consequences of some of that, as well as what I do now, which is Infantry Pulse, right? So that's really what I've pivoted to, as opposed to being enemy phase dragons. Now I'm Infantry Pulse. So without further ado, let's get into this. So I've sorted everyone by level, so we can kind of go through the plus 10s first. So first up we have Young Marth. Young Marth was a Vantage unit I used on Light Season until recently. He actually got swapped out for Zeke. I don't think the Vantage strategy is super good right now, except for if you use Winter Bernadetta and Ardent Sacrifice. That's actually a pretty neat little strategy you can do. But other than that, that's really the only good way to get it set up, you know, with any kind of guarantee. Marth himself is a great unit. He's right here. You see he's got a Mjolnir Strike build, because I use him as my alternate for my my actual like combat unit, the one that's at the top of Mjolnir Strike. But he used to have, he's got Shield Pulse, he's got distant counter on him, he's got Joint Drive Attack. I think he has Spurn or one of those. Maybe, did I make that up? Yeah, but he's got lots of good stuff on him. Very much fun. Yeah, he does have Spurn. Okay, yeah, I never used it apparently, but he does have Spurn on him. Lots of other great stuff on him. He used to be an Arena Core unit as well, but I've swapped him out just because score reasons. Selith I actually used on defense for Duma Season a couple times, with his Tearfing as opposed to his Divine Tearfing. Definitely a good unit for offense, AR offense as well. He just doesn't really fit a niche that I need for him in AR offense, but definitely a good unit to build for ARO, and it's one I've used on ARD as well with this Tearfing, as opposed to the Divine Tearfing. I do have a plus 10 Black Knight. We got a bunch of them for free, and then a couple came in an orb pack or something, so I had like a pretty well merged one, and he was actually my first Grail project. So yeah, he has Steady Breath and stuff. This would actually be not a bad near save build, but I also just, I don't think he's super worth investing into. He's a great unit still. I don't want to like dump on him, but I think red's not the color to be right now to be near save. So Sigurd. So Sigurd is one of my newer plus 10s. I'm very excited about him. I actually just off of random rolls already had him at plus 7. It's just random pulls. He's just one of those units that showed up for me a whole lot. So I just finished out the plus 10 on his last weekly revival, and then got him our dual cav, and now he scores like a 185 BST unit, and he performs very well in arena. I'm very happy with him. He's doing super well for himself. Sophia she's actually currently on my Light Season rotation. She is just a good tank unit. She has a Raven Tome, so she performs very well against Bremond. And Hell. She does really well against Hell. That's really why I built her originally, was to deal with Hell, because my teams at the time didn't really have a super great way to deal with her. So that's why I built her. I don't use her that much, though, truthfully, and she's about to get swapped out for double save in a second here anyway. So Mail Morgan is a unit that I really liked. I like the idea of. I love the Pelagian weapons a lot. I use Pelagian Bow on my Norn, and it works very well. Morgan works better in theory than in practice, especially with Saros. Saros is very hard for him to deal with. If he can get by the Saros, then a lot of times he can tank through whole teams just fine. But he's just, I wish he was as good as my Norn was with the Pelagian weapon. He's just not. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sad about that. I wish I could use him more. Orboro. I actually used her, Oboro. I always say that wrong and people make fun of me for it. Whatever. But she was used on one singular defense and never again. So that's her. I do have my +10 Vector. He's near save. He's great. He's obviously great. He's another unit. I had him at +6. And then I just, when they did the most recent Hero Fests, I just pulled on it and finished him off there. Zeke is a pain. We've already talked about it. Zeke, there's a whole video on it. Go watch the Zeke video. My life is suffering. Baby Noe. Noe is a great unit that I use as my Null Seed Disruptor in Light Season for a long time. I since switched to Young Leon because I think that he performs a lot better as a Null Seed Disruptor. So Noe is just kind of hanging out, chilling. She does well, and you can see right here, this is a Pawns of Loki build. So she does well there, and she's good for my friends to send her off to Pawns of Loki because she has high HP. And it's just a good unit in general. George is a unit that I still use on my... I've used him in the past quite a bit on Aether Raid's defense, but now he's an Arena Core unit, so he performs very well there, because he's both, you know, a good carry, he's a ranged unit as well, but he also has good support with Daniel Madebow, so definitely appreciate the George. Brunya is... I've made a whole video about Brunya. She's still in my Astra season rotation, and she's just very good. She's still very good. I just used her yesterday and won my match with her. Yeah, I use her now with near save Vector, and that's a very efficient strategy for me. Blue is just a very good color for Aether Raids right now, and Brunya just does super well. Speaking of Young Leon, here's my Young Leon. So yeah, I think I like this build a lot. I don't know that Attack Rezoth is the best option, but I gave it to him because I gave him a bunch of skills when I just got excited about him, and I gave him like Mirror Impact and all this other stuff because I thought maybe I could use him on Aether Raid's defense as kind of a Linja check. That never panned out. So he just has Mirror Impact and Attack Rezoth now, so RIP that legendary Julia. Okay, Hawkeye. Hawkeye used to be my Null Seed Disruptor on Astra, but he got replaced by, first by Fallen Leon and now by Micaiah. But yeah, he used to, and then he also used to be part of my Arena Core when using, like, G-Duel was, like, actually like good score. It was actually like efficient score, and now all the units have like much higher BST, so he's kind of faded out. He's pretty obsolete at this point for me, but he's still super well invested. Obviously he has 10 Dragon Flowers, he's +10 merge, he's got good skills on him, but yeah, I don't have very, he's my only green +10 though, so I need to work on that probably. Whatever, but he does exist, and sometimes I'll use him in, because he is a green +10, I'll use him in Allegiance battles. Baby Norn, I love my Baby Norn. She's one of my favorite units and definitely performs super well. I think she's falling off a little bit right now because of, in the not meta, there are more Cav lines, and when there's Cav lines, there's more odd recovery. And so odd recovery really screws up Pelagian Bow pretty bad. So she's a little bit underperforming right now, but I still think she's a great unit for every unit, every matchup that isn't an odd recovery matchup. Yeah. Leon used to appear quite a bit in my my Aether Raid's defense teams. He's since been replaced by Young Innis and by Legendary Crom. So yeah, sorry Leon. He's good. I enjoy him a lot, but yeah, he fell off for sure. Legendary Leaf is one of my accidental +10s that I have. I have several of those. He just showed up a bunch of banners, and he's just really great. This is a PvE build that you're seeing for him right here. I've talked about him before, so I won't talk about him too much. I do have Bravelyn at +10 as well. This was another accidental +10 that happened when I was pulling for Legendary Robin. She also showed up on a bunch of banners at the beginning of the game. But when Legendary Robin was a thing, I was pulling hard for her because collecting dragons, like we talked about, and I ended up with just a bunch of Lyn merges. Since then, though, she's recently come back into the fold and actually been useful because now I have C-Dual Cav 4 on her, and now she's part of my Arena Core. She scores like a 185 BST unit. She has Wind Sweep against the classic weapon triangle, so not a bad unit, truthfully. She's actually doing pretty well over there. She has a little bit of redundancy with the fact that I'll also use, you know, Legendary Leaf, and then I have 2 bow calves. But a bow calf is not the worst thing to be, so not bad at all. You've seen plenty of Soth on my Aether Raid's defense teams. That's basically where he lives. He doesn't really do anything ARO. I used him as a bonus unit in Arena one time, but yeah. He's got lots of stuff. He's got the cleaner on him, which I never taught him. He's got Cloud Myogi. He's got, you know, Pechkaz and all that stuff. He's got Death Blow and Sturdy Impact and Times Pulse and Infantry Pulse. He's well invested for sure. I'm not super... I think people overrated his Refine, but I won't talk too much about that. Kranya, I made a whole video about Kranya. You can go watch the Kranya video. Yeah, definitely my favorite strategy to use still in Astra Season, just because Fatal Smoke is so good with her. I just love using her. I think it's fun. I think she's a fun unit to use. So yeah, love my Kranya. Cecilia, I actually do have a +10 winner Cecilia. She has lots of fun skills because she's also a forma. I already had her at the +10 and then I got her the forma. She has Starfish, Barb Shuriken, Goody Boot, Broadleaf Fan, all kinds of stuff. Courtly Mask, so many skills. Yeah, so she's got all kinds of stuff. Super well invested. She has so many fighter skills. She used to be my primary Astra carry. That's why she's so well invested. She used to be like the Astra carry for me, and then I would support her with Winter Erica. But that didn't work out super well, especially because of the movement. That was really the biggest issue, was the movement. But I mean, early days of AR, she carried me, so that was nice. Emmerin appeared also in just one Aether Raids defense, but she's also well invested. She has attack speed push, she has odd recovery, she has, restore and flash. So I like her. I also just like Emmerin as a character. I think her design is super beautiful. She's just gorgeous. So yeah, Emmerin. Young Innis. Young Innis is at +9. We're waiting for that +10 to come around in the seasonal codes. But yeah, he's got Sturdy Impact, he's got Times Pulse, he's doing the thing. You've seen him on Aether Raids defense. He's coming up again on this week on Aether Raids defense, so get excited for that. Marth is actually, I just gave him our dual infantry 4. So he's the first of my several unintentional +6 units. I have several of those. So yeah, he is arena rotation for fire season right now. He scores pretty well because he scores like a 180 BST unit with the dual and the binding shield. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, I think when he's rerun next, if he's rerun on a Legendary Hero remix and he gets remixed, I'm thinking that's the next time he's getting rerun, then I'll probably finish out the +10, because that seems exciting, right? Leaf, another accidental +10 or +6 unit I have. Yeah, I have Wodow on him because Lightbrand used to be terrible, and I just haven't changed it since it's gotten its refine. The slaying effect on Lightbrand definitely made it better. I still don't know that it's a super great weapon, but it made it better, so I guess I could put that on him, but just not worth spending the dude because I never use him. So this was the build I had on him back in the day, like when he was like at launch and I had him at +3 for no reason at all. Okay, Alencia. This is another one of those accidental +6 units. She's actually quite a good unit, I think. I don't know. I like her, especially with Dive Bomb. That can be super, super spooky. Yeah, that's... I don't invest in her because I don't really need a flying unit. You'll know she's Dark Blessed because she used to be on my old Dark Flyer Ball I had at the very beginning of Aether Raids. Yeah. Okay, this is an intentional +6. This is my Knot. She's obviously great. Yeah, she's got Times Pulse. She's got her innate attack speed menace. Just a good unit. Obviously, we all know that Knot's great. Pathfinder's broken. Her weapon is also quite good. So she's just a very good unit. Legendary Dimitri, he came up when I was summoning for Saros on the Hero Rises. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Hero Rises banner. So yeah, he is sometimes shows up in arena, but he doesn't score. Doesn't always score as well as I need him to. So I think I need at least one more merge on him next time. I'm really hoping that next month's Mythic is blue, because then it's Saros, Dimitri, and whoever that Mythic is, maybe Freyr. So then when I pull for maybe Freyr, then I could get some Dimitris. That would be nice. And even Saros merges wouldn't be bad. Speaking of, here is Saros. Yeah, so this is the build that you see on her most often. She's got even Quick Riposte equipped right now. This is like her standard build for me. Yeah, you've seen her enough on Aether Raids defense videos that I don't need to talk about her. Here is my +6 Flying Azura. Why do I have that? I couldn't tell you. This was like right near the beginning of the game when I was just pulling on as many banners as possible to try and get fodder. I think I got her to +4 on her original banner, and I was just doing full circles. So it's just like luck. And then since then, I've just gotten like free summons of her, which is crazy. That's so silly to me. But yeah, so I actually do use her for PvE content sometimes, but she's not super well invested or anything. Just a, you know, pretty okay unit. Myrrh is a unit that I actually have considering pulling to +10, because she is pretty good, and I think pretty underrated, honestly. You see, again, Dark Blessing here because she used to be part of that good old flyer ball that I had. But yeah, her Refine was super, super good, so yeah. Maybe someday we'll +10 Myrrh. Air is at +6. This is intentional. This was when Aether raids first launched, so we all pulled for lots of copies of Air because we needed score. And you used to have to run 2 Airs, so I used to have a +4 Air and a +1 Air, just to get that score up, right? But since then I combined them because we have enough light mythics now that I can just run, you know, everyone. Tamari Air is my favorite. Air Force is also great. I don't really... my brain doesn't vibe well with Gale Force strategies, so respect to anyone that does those well. But yeah, this is the build I use on my Air right now, and it's working out pretty well. It's also, you know, Tamari Dagger supports Plagian Bow Norn, so. Naga, +5, +10 Dragonflowers also. Wow, I didn't realize I gave her all those Dragonflowers, but I mean, whatever. I don't need those flying Dragonflowers. Yeah, so Naga's same story as Air. Early season, Astra needed to pull multiple copies of her, so now I have a well-merged Naga. Kana. Kana originally stemmed from my dragon collecting days, but ever since then she's just kind of been... I need to favorite her. She's just kind of been a unit that's just shown up a lot for me. I have Warding Breath on her because this is like the standard dragon thing to do, right? Was to give Lightning Breath, Quick Riposte, and then a Breath skill. So RIP Legendary Ike that I got for free from the quest. Or not from the quest, from the Xenologue. Yeah, so... Jacob, this is another unit like Azura where I pulled just full circles at the beginning of the game to get like enough units in my barracks to play the game. And I got a bunch of merges on him right away, and then I got another free summon of him later on, and we got a combat manual of him also, so now he's +5. Neat. Right now he has this Garbo build, but I also have the standard Brave Bow and Bold Fighter set that I used to run on him. He used to be like a super hard carry for me on ARD at the very beginning. He was like a fundamental part of my my Anima season defense. Forma Celica. So yeah, she's got this green build that I haven't heard. This is just exactly what came off of her from the Forma. Minus Beloved Sophia. I think I gave her, what sword did I give her? Ninja Katana? Yeah, not bad. But yeah, this is just the Forma Celica that I had. Okay, Tiki, Lightning Breath, Quick Riposte. There he goes. Again, Dragon Collecting Days, so here's Legendary Tiki. Alphonse, you've seen enough of him on defense. We love ARD defense res on him. Super, super great there. Reinhardt. Reinhardt is another unit that was like a fundamental pillar of my Astra season defense when it was first starting before I was Infantry Pulse. Obviously a super great unit. He's at +4 right now. He used to be in the 4 and 5 star pool, so I actually pulled a bunch of 5-star copies of him. So yeah, and I think I actually was trying to make him a merge project for a while before I gave up on Cavalier things. Olwen, similarly +4, just from Pity Breakers and that kind of stuff. She is more in need of that Dire Thunder Refine than Reinhardt. That's what I'll say about Olwen. Hell is now +4 off of the most recent banner we just had, that summoning video I put up yesterday for Byleth. So now she's +4, and yeah, she is solid unit. Solid unit, performs well. I think that she has that ability to checkmate units with Mystic Boost, right? I think that's sometimes overestimated, and she can be a problem, especially during her bonus season, but more often than not, she's just there. Freya. Freya is used to be a deadweight unit for me until I got Trace on her. If you have a near Trace skill that you're not using, I so recommend putting it on a Freya if you have that also. It is very helpful in light season. If you think about Reagan and how helpful she is, obviously Reagan has more Canto, but Freya can do it for longer. Freya can do it all the way to turn 8 if you want to with your Milla, right? So she can do it the entire time, as opposed to Reagan, who can only do it the first 4 turns. But yeah, still, it's just super solid unit. Also can tank, you know, like a Reinhardt or something. in the situation where you're facing up against a cav line and you need to find the spaces to, you know, bait separate units separately. So she can hold her own against some of those units for sure. Duma. Yeah, Duma has Death Blow 4 on him right now, which I think is a little silly. A push skill would probably be better. But Death Blow 4 is the fodder I had at the time. Wings of Mercy is fine. Eventually I'll go to more of an offensive Duma. I have a theory in mind for when I get Far Save for Duma season. He's not going to have Far Save, obviously, because Upheaval's incredible. That's his whole selling point. But putting another armor unit next to him with Far Save and reworking a map a little bit in Duma's favor, so that he can be like an offensive nuke, as opposed to just being, you know, doing Upheaval and then sitting in the back and hoping he gets a Wings of Mercy play. So that's for the future. Alm has shown up in my defense replays a couple times now. My nose is so itchy. I'm sorry, I keep scratching it. But yeah, he does well. He's a super great unit still, super solid. He'll scale well into the future just because, you know, Luna Arc is a good weapon. That'll keep his attack relevant. His speed will have a little bit harder time staying relevant, but skills can help that out. Lunar Flash is also a good skill, so yeah. Definitely a good investment. He's on the banner right now. Ira, I actually haven't refined her yet. This Ira's from like back in the day when Ira was like best unit, like Ira was the meta. Ira was like the Fallen Edelgard of 2018. So yeah, definitely a good unit, better now. I haven't invested into her since her refine. I just don't have a lot of use of red tanks. Still a phenomenal unit though, still a phenomenal unit. Erica is a unit in the game. I used to use her a lot. One of my like core like strategies at the beginning of the game was Erica and Nino together. Those two kind of supporting each other, because Erica could give hone speed and hone attack with her weapon, and then Nino could, you know, get yeah, and then I had rally defense res on her. There you go. So then she could give, you know, +3 to Nino, which, you know, isn't as good as like modern day +7 that you could give with Azura, but back in the day that was like decent enough that it would boost Nino's blade tome up a little bit. So that was way back. Sothis has so many skills. Let's take a look at all the skills my Sothis has. So she has, first of all, a rally attack speed plus. I probably need to give that to her at some point. Keep that in my brain. She has Miracle. She has attack speed bond, attack defense bond, attack speed push, attack speed solo, ARD attack speed, ARD speed res, attack speed form, speed res form. She has lunge, shield pulse, wrath, null follow up, attack, lull attack speed, drive attack, joint drive speed, times pulse, infantry pulse. Like, I have tried so hard to make this Sothis thing work. I think the last season is the first time I truly felt like Sothis was working for me, when I got to run this build that you see here. ARD attack speed, lull attack speed, times pulse miracle. This was the first time I felt like, okay, Sothis is actually doing what I want her to do. But before that, it's like I threw like the whole kitchen sink at her trying to make her work, and it just didn't. So I am glad now that, hopefully with Nott's help and everything, that Sothis can work during her bonus season only, because that's the only time I had to use her. But it used to be that like she was a staple because not as many dark mythics. So I'm glad that those days are behind us. Lysithea used to appear a lot more in my ARDs, but yeah. This is my Lucina that will appear someday when I get Deadeye for her. She'll show up one day, but until then she is in the wings. Micaiah is my newest carry for Astra season here. Null C disrupt, distant defense, all that fun stuff. She's a +3 right now. Great unit, super great unit. I think you've seen a lot of Feytubers talk about how great Micaiah is. She truly is. I really want to make Minerva great. Minerva's a unit that, like, I just love this slaying plus Wodow weapon that some units have, like her and Fur and Shauna, I think, right? I wish I could make her work better. I've tried to theory craft her in the past. I just don't think it's worth it. Sharina is the unit that I had at +3 before we had her refine or anything, or before even getting new refine, because she came up in a legendary banner that I was summoning on. So I got her that way. Julia's here, unbuilt. I have her at +3. She exists. Byleth, here's the build I'm running on Byleth right now. You saw the summoning video yesterday. This is the ARD build that's on him now. Get excited for that. That'll be in the video on Monday. Milla's here. Does smite things, does isolation things. We love Milla. Milla's a great unit just because isolation is so strong. I'm gonna start rapid firing these. I feel like this video is dragging a little bit, so I'm gonna start rapid firing these. Tiki, I use her on Mjolnir Strike. Brahmimon, you guys have seen enough. Super great unit. Winter Altina, can't tell you enough how great this unit is. I use her on ARD, as you guys have seen, but I also use her with this build specifically on ARO, and she does very, very well for herself. I use her as more of a vantage unit than a true carry. I know you can use her because her stats are super great. You can just use her as a real carry. I prefer just, you know, going in with the vantage strategy. This is my Reagan build. Panic Smoke is probably not the best skill here. But I don't really feel like investing into it. She's mostly there to clear structures. Elliowood, good unit. We all know he's a good unit. Yeah, we like Elliowood. Sheeta is a unit that I have at +2. That's all I have to say about her. I know people like Sheeta, but yeah. Altina's actually, people like to crap on Altina and talk about how bad she is. She can bait out some enemies. She can take like one combat, right? She doesn't need to. I know people also use her as a primary carry, but I think she can take one combat super well and do super fine. And other than that, like I use her as a smite bot here, obviously. So that's also good. Yeah, Halloween Myrrh. Halloween Myrrh is an underrated unit, I feel like, so that's a thing. We should use Halloween Myrrh more. Sonic Key's not built. We've seen Kyria on ARD. She is good unit. That's all I'll have to say about her. She is strong. I think I've kind of replaced her with Fallen Male Morgan, but yeah. That's not really, this is just like a base kit. Erica. Fjorm is here, also just base kit. I do use Lancina to support my Zeke nowadays, so that's where she's getting use out of. Obviously, we know that she's powerful. Azura's a great unit here. She's built up right now to boost her attack and speed, so that she can soak Bright Trines, attack Bright Trines, chill attack, chill speed. I also have an Aether Raids offense version of her that I used to do when I was trying to make Gale Force happen for myself, but I gave up on that. We all know Eldigan's a great unit. I'm actually using him on ARO right now to soak Dark Shrine away from Winter Altina. Crom is super great. Coming up in this week's Aether Raids defense video, yeah. I actually do use Morgan in my flyer team to, you know, clear like the training towers and stuff. I just use Blade Tome flyers and call it a day. Like that's my strategy for clearing the flying maps. I could probably get a better strategy, but it just works, so I'm not really looking to replace it, I guess. Dagger's super strong. I did give her distant counter just so that she can bait out an enemy if she needs to. She works super well. She's a great unit. Null follow-up on her weapon's good. Even Tempest has surprisingly worked out a lot for me, so yeah. Brave Ike is actually, he could be more merged, but I need to keep his HP threshold under control because I use him on defense as opposed to offense. If I use him in offense, I could merge him up and it would be great. But I'm trying to keep that HP under control, keep that HP in check so that I can actually give him a single pulse when he needs it. Camilla used to use her on dark defense when I had my fireball. She has distant counter. Don't know why. Faye, newest unit coming to you, coming to a save ball near you. Get ready for her. Forma Faye. Just got her yesterday, right? So that's exciting. This is my Thrasher build. You've seen this before on defense replays. Thrasher, good unit. I think that this is the way I build her because I use her as a nuke. I think the actual superior like Thrasher for general content and not just infantry pulse content is more of a tank build, trying to focus on her bulk because she does get Spectrum +4 and her defenses are not hateful. So going for like a more like Fury 4 build here, where she just stacks stats across the board, that could be pretty good because she does stop guaranteed follow-ups from the enemy. So as long as she outspeeds them, which she probably does, or, you know, matches speed with them, then she can do actually quite well. Yeah, as a more thick unit as opposed to just like a true nuke. Thunderbrand Olwyn exists, or Thunderhead Olwyn, not Thunderbrand. That's Catherine. Yoon, yeah, Yoon seen here with Mjolnir Strike build. She's Yoon. She exists. I think you can make her work on. I do use sturdy impact on her during her bonus season. I think you can make her work on that season. This is an early game investment that I had of this Gron Raven Camilla and I would put Io's shield in the seal to try and bait out bows for when I was using a flying team. So yeah, I used to use a lot of flyers, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, right at the beginning of the game. I think that was my preferred strategy at the beginning of the game. We've seen Summer Dorothea a lot. She has a lot of skills on her. So she's got Sky Myogi, Ouch Pouch, she's got her default Hidden Thorns, she has Life and Death, she has Mirror Impact. I think she has Death Blow 4 also, I've just never taught it to her. She has Law Attack Speed, she has Odd Pulse Tie to counter Reagan, and obviously Infantry Pulse. So lots of investment out of that Dorothea. Really like her as a unit, much better attack and speed than Tethys, so that's why I use her over Tethys. Veronica, you guys have seen her on my return trap. I did build up a Navarre. This was for, you can tell, offense Gale Force times. Kind of regret building up the Navarre, just because, again, Gale Force doesn't work out with my brain. It's not my strategy. I admire people that use Gale Force. It's a great strategy. It's just not the way I like to play the game, and it's not the way that I play the game well. I play the game well with more enemy phase strategies and setting up that way. So player phase is not my phase. Same thing with this Sylvia. She was built to support the Navarre and everyone. I have Forma Larce and Forma Morita. I don't know if I will use them, but I picked them up anyway because I was like, those are just good units. I might as well get some free good skills on them. We got a bunch of free Mass Marth at the beginning of the game, so yeah. Sealed Falchion's good, I just haven't replaced it yet. Corrin used to support Noe when she was my carry, but he needs a new home now, I guess. I need to find Corrin a new home, a new friend. I do have Eldigan and Ares. They're units that I have. They have the same weird build of this like close defense plus quick riposte thing happening. I don't know why. It just happened. It was a build that I did, and I felt good about it at the time. It was stupid. Anyway, Legendary Elliewood is here. He's just for bonus season things. I used to use him sometimes with Legendary Leaf to make Leaf just like crazy strong for PvE content, but I've since given up on that strategy. Lethe, I used to use her on defense, on Dark, I think. I used to use her on my Dark defense, but I tried to make her as a Gale Forcer. Just not the strategy. Not the strategy for me. Spring of Dune is actually a unit that I would like to invest more into. I'm very interested in investing more into her because duo unit and because just good, strong unit in general. I actually never use her, and she's just a very good unit that's in my barracks. I should probably use her more. Summer Tiki is not. She's just there for my dragon collecting days. Let's keep going through these because it's getting long in the tooth here. Yeah, so you see that I've got a bunch of these other units invested. Let's talk about, I mean, I have Duo Sigurd. Lysithea will be better when she gets refined. She'll be quite good when she gets refined. She's already pretty good. She's already really spooky when she is damaged. I love my Berkut. He's great. I think that New Year's Valuria is underrated by some people, so definitely a unit worth looking into. Odin is one of my favorite units, just like in Fire Emblem, so I'm just glad that I get to use him. I do use him with Winter Altina. Normally. So, Catria is just so good. Catria is really great for Aether 8's defense and everything, so you guys have encountered her already now and know that she could be very spooky. Yeah. Dragon, just dragon things. Shout out to Levinseti. There's my Lewin. He exists. Young Merrick, RIP Young Merrick, getting replaced by Legendary Byleth. Dragon things. Legendary Corrin was the last unit that I pulled when I was collecting dragons. That's when I decided to do that and start deciding to invest more into just my strategy, not the collection anymore. Legendary Robin, getting a refined soon and getting a new dragon skin soon, so that's exciting. She'll be a little bit more useful now. I don't know about a lot more useful, but a little bit more useful for sure. Yeah. So that is the gist of my any merged units. You can see here that I'm a hoarder of units also, those 18 Zeeks. Where's my Surters? That always gives people a laugh. I just keep them. I don't manual them for no reason at all. I'm just a hoarder. Dragon sitting on top of his pile of gold. So yeah, that's the gist of my barracks. I hope you guys all had some fun. It wasn't too boring for you guys. But I just wanted to show you guys like how I used to play the game, take you on a tour of my past, present, future here for my barracks. So thank you guys so much for watching. There's a link to the Discord in the description. Come hang out with us there. And also, I just want to thank you guys again so much for the 2,000 subs. That's really cool. And I'm just really happy that you guys have supported the channel so much. So thanks again, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.